For Canada PR, the process is just looking at your profile in general. And it's just part of what I've already said. So we're looking at your education, your work experience, your language proficiency, whether you have family in Canada, and all of that. For study, you're looking at how would I put it? You're looking at options as just your education, basically. Um, you have to have a budget for tuition and living expenses and travel expenses. You also have to have an admission, which we can also assist with admissions. Not, we don't just offer immigration services, we also assist with education consulting services, helping you choose the right program and also helping you with admission. And when it comes to which one is better and more affordable, when it comes to better, Canada PR is better, in my opinion. It's much better. You get closer to citizenship faster. More affordable, Canada PR is also more affordable. But I'm going to add that it takes longer to get Canada PR. In general, it's not the case for everybody because there's some people that it takes a shorter time to get PR and someone else might be finding it difficult to even get study. But in general, Canada PR might take a bit longer and study is a bit shorter to like go from the beginning to the end of the process. So it really just depends where you are in each of the process. It can actually still work either way. All right, so I'm going to go to the next question. And it's saying, what are my chances with HND and not BSc? There are no disadvantages. You don't have a lot of disadvantages. Okay, Mohammed, can you please mute yourself? There's feedback from your end, please. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so what are the chances when it comes to like HND or and not BSc? If you're talking about study, yes, there might be some advantages that someone has in BSc, but there are also schools that don't mind your HND at all, and it's not even a problem. Like it's not even a problem. We can help you get admission with that. What is required so as to start working towards it? So at this person it looks like I just focus a bit more on the study. So I would say you need to know what your budget is. So it depends on the program you want to go for. If you want to go for a certificate program, it's cheaper. But then if you have a family, you might want to might want to consider the master's program if you want your family to join you, especially your spouse. Because right now you need to have a master's program that is 60 months and above for your spouse to qualify for an open work permit to come here and work while you're studying. So you really have to, it depends on your situation. But if you're single, then that's not your problem. You just have to focus on what you can afford, the program you can afford. And I usually tell people, there's a range, there's a huge range. It depends on the school, the program, the province. I would say between 15 to 25,000, but I've also seen programs that cost as high as 30,000 and above, even way, way higher than that. But if you're just talking about like, okay, you want to get something, most times it falls within that range. It can also be below 15,000, but that's not as common. Um, yes, we can help you with getting loans for your study program. We can help you with getting loans. There are agencies that provide loans for international students, and we can assist you with that. But it also depends on what your program is because it's not every program that qualifies. So we need more information to actually see if you would qualify for that loan. But yes, they are loan agencies. Now, there's also the last question is talking about like my brother applied for a work permit after getting a job in Canada, but his visa got rejected. I'd like to know if this will. No, it won't affect you. You're two different human beings. It won't affect you. Um, yeah, even if you are married, it still won't affect you. What other alternatives do we have? So this person is saying my score is I think Omoroye saying my score is 432 on the exit entry exit entry portal. And so I just need support going forward so we won't just keep waiting in the pool for 3 years. So one thing that most people don't realize is that entering the pool doesn't, really get you to the end point. So it's obvious that this particular person has encountered that. Your pool profile expires in 1 year, and some people just keep renewing and renewing. And if you don't have the right support and information, you might just keep doing that for a long time. And so for this particular question, I will really need to have a one-on-one. It's not a straight answer. There are different things that you could do, but it depends on your your profile right now and what exactly would work for you. I don't want to give you a blanket answer because I might look at it and I might have something very different. But in general, exploring, improving your language proficiency and being bilingual, meaning if you're speaking English, you might want to consider French because Canada is a bilingual country. So right now they are more open to people that are bilingual. So that's a general advice, but I need to have a more detailed conversation with you and go into the details of that. Now, this is the point for me to say that if you're in this call, you can stay till the end and you would get a link to book a free session with me for me to look into your case and give you advice and see what you can do, just give you an advice on what you can do moving forward, whether you want to work with us or not. So if you stay till the end, I'm going to be sharing that link in the I'm going to be sharing that for you to book a session with me. We'll be sending it to you directly. So indicate interest if you would want to have a chat with me. Okay, so going to the next question, how long does it generally take for you to know your stand on immigration using the Express Entry program? Okay, so Rashida Hilda is asking this question for herself, and she wants to know for her family. So there's no set time to know whether you're going to be selected or whether things are going to move forward. There's no set time, to be honest. I've seen people that got into the pool, like for me, I got into the pool and let's say I got in the pool on a Saturday. I got into the pool on a Saturday, and by Tuesday the following week, I got a provincial nomination from Ontario. And then by Wednesday, I got an invitation to apply from the federal government. But this was in 2017. My point is, I've also seen people that have entered the pool and it was almost 1 year, or let's say 10, 11 months down the line, they get invited. Some had to renew their profile because the profile expires every year. So there's no way of knowing. It depends on your profile. It depends on what the government is looking for at that point in time. It just depends on a lot of things. And that's where conversation comes in. And that's why I'm offering the free session to you guys, right? Because when I look at each person's application, or each person's profile and your situation in general, there's no one clear-cut advice. There's the advice for each person is usually very different. So um because I don't have a lot of information here, I can't give a very elaborate answer. But what I would just say is, guys, my team members, Debbie on Chem, let's make sure we reach out to this particular community member that's asking this question and have them, book the free session with me so that I can have a one-on-one with her. Okay, so moving on. Did anyone hear that? If you did, please indicate just to be sure you guys heard me. Okay, so this is the last question we have, and then we can start taking questions from everyone that's here if what I've said so far does not answer your questions. Okay, so the last question is saying, how do I find a legitimate or a legit visa sponsorship company to sponsor me and provide me with a full-time job and a good payment? This is from Adebayo. He's looking to relocate and be working in Canada as a permanent resident. So first of all, I'm glad that I'm seeing that he's willing to relocate and work in Canada as a permanent resident. If he's willing to relocate as permanent resident, the first thing I'll say is you don't even need a visa or sponsorship company. I don't even know what that means, but you don't need a company to sponsor you to come and work here for you to get a permanent residence. You can get a permanent residency by yourself before you even come into Canada. And when you come here, you can work for any company that you get a job with. So you don't need to get a job. You don't need to have a job before you come in with PR. In 2018, I came into Canada as a permanent resident and I didn't have a job yet, right? I came here and I found a job, but I didn't need the job as a requirement to get my permanent residency. So looks like that's what I'm going to answer, how I'm going to answer this question. Because if his goal is permanent residency, the first thing is to look at his profile and see how you can get your permanent residency by yourself. I don't want to go down the route of, oh, can we help you get a job or the work permit? Because the truth is we don't assist with getting a job or work permits, by ourselves. But if you have a job, we can help you get a work permit. We can advise you on how to look for jobs and all of that, even though that's not the core thing that we do. But if that's a question I can ask, I can answer on that. But if permanent residence is your goal, let's have a chat. So all the community members, all the Keisha community members that ask questions today, please reach out to them and let them know that, especially those that are indicated, I need more information to answer their questions. Send them a link to book a free session with me. Okay, now I'm gonna leave it open. Who has direct questions for me? Indicate in the box, yeah, indicate here if you have any questions. And Debbie, please share unique links to everybody that's indicating that they want the one-on-one session with me. Um, Send them the links directly so that someone else doesn't click on it. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Okay, Victoria, I can start with you. Go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask the question you have.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you for the clarifications, and you've answered most of my questions. But at the same time, I still have like a whole lot. And like you said, I think I'll really appreciate the one-on-one meetings because I'm just trying to, it's not like I know the particular, I'm just trying to look for what works best. Yes,
Right.
I asked about the HND because I have an HND and I've heard about some maybe schools not accepting or you might have to do a 1 year course, but it's also still not school I want to do. I'm just trying to know which works best. Like I also asked about loan to know, okay, this works best. Or if I have more chances at one, but the money is too much. That's why I was asking about loan also. So my first question was, I know you mentioned for loan, like there are for students, but I don't know, what about for permanent residents? Or how much does it cost? I don't know.
You mean, so if a permanent resident wants to come here to study, how that way you're asking?
No. You said for study, like they can there are agencies or something that provide loan. But what if I'm going for permanent residency? I don't know how much it costs. So I'm trying
Oh,
to,
okay. You don't need a loan
yes.
for that. Well, um, let me rephrase that. Let me go back. So
Okay.
when I say loan, when I saw your question, it sounded like you are asking for loan for your tuition, right? For study in that
Yeah.
instance. Yeah.
Yes.
But when I say that PR was cheaper, what I mean is at least at the very least you're not having to think about paying tuition to anybody for PR.
Okay.
Right? Whatever money that you have, whatever bulk money you need for the process is in your pocket. You're just showing that, okay, I have enough money to take care of myself when I come here while I look for a job and settle down. So you're not giving the money to anybody. So a student might pay like 20,000 or even 15,000. Let's even say 15,000 a year for a program, right?
Yeah.
Um, but for you, if you're holding that 15,000, that's more than enough POF for your entire PR application. But there are some students that will pay 20,000 a year. They're paying up to 30,000, maybe 35,000, or 40,000 for tuition alone for 2 years or something like that, right? Or even if they're doing a 1 year program, they're paying like 15,000 for a year, for example, right? But for you, 15,000 for your PR. In fact, what you actually need is, let me see if I can pull up the exact amount. Are you single or married? That's what will determine this, if you don't mind me asking. That will help me give you a more detailed answer.
Single.
Okay, good. So, um, 1 second. So what I want to do now is show you the proof of funds needed. For single, I can tell you from the top of my head that it's about, I'll round up to like around 13,000. But they've increased it recently. Like last year, they took it up to like 14,690, which is why I was saying that with 15,000,
Mom.
with 15,000 Canadian dollars, you have enough for a single person. And that is money that as a student you will go and pay for tuition. But even if a family member says, okay, I'm giving you this gift for you to come and settle here, at the very least, at least it's in your account, you're not paying it out for school fees. And in that case, that's why I said you don't necessarily need a loan. You just need to be able to show, because as a student, you have to pay tuition of maybe 30 to 40,000 if it's a 2-year program, which most people go for a 2-year program. And just to go down that rabbit hole a little bit, if you do a 2-year program, you have a high chance of getting like 2 years work permit or 3 years work permit. So because they have a chance of 2 or 3 years work permit, that's why most people go for 2-year programs. And if you do 1-year program, most likely you're going to get only a 1-year work permit, right? Now let's go back to what we were saying. So with the PR, that 15,000 is just POF. But as a student, you might pay like 30,000 for tuition and still need to provide living expenses for 2 years. And living expenses for 2 years is, I tell my clients, at least show the government is asking on their website to show like $20,000. But in our experience, especially if you're going to like expensive places like Ontario and all of that, and some people still share 20,000 and it's not a problem, they get approved. But to just give yourself that extra advantage, if you show 25 to 30,000, our preference is actually 30,000. You will have to show that times two, which is 60,000 for POF a fund. Okay. Now, this POF for PR, please, if you join, please mute yourself, okay? So that other people can hear what I'm saying. There's a lot of background noise. Admin, please, when people join, check and see if they're not muted, help them mute themselves. So what people don't really understand is that the POF for PR, this amount here for one person. Oh, sorry, I just realized I'm not sharing my screen. 1 second. You can see my screen now. You would see what I'm saying. So this is on the government website, right? So the funds here is everything you're seeing here is what they estimate would be okay for 6 months. So their estimation and their assumption is that within 6 months you should get a job. Hopefully you get a job, you're settled and all of that. So if you have this amount, and I like rounding up and putting extra. If you are working with me now and you have 20,000, I'll be happier as a single person, or even 17 or something higher than, if you round it up to 15,000, it's still pretty close. So I usually like adding extra money on top, especially to show that at least you can buy your ticket to come, you know. But back to this amount is supposed to last you for 6 months, and that is close to our estimation. When I say so, 6 months is approximately 15,000 for one person. When I'm telling a single person that is going for study and I'm telling you provide 30,000 a year, this is why, because times two of this is 30,000. This is one of the reasons. But the government will still show you like, oh, okay, if you bring to 20,000 minimum as a student, a single person, you're fine. And sometimes they might still approve it, but I've seen a lot of refusals when you show only 20,000. And answering your question and going a little a bit beyond, what you're asking. But I'm trying to compare both, because you're trying to Kisha Tima, please mute people that join in. Smart Deborah, please mute yourself. Mute yourself. We need to change our settings on the webinar, guys. Ronke, please let's change the settings so that when people come in from day one, from the first second they join, they're already muted, okay? So that it doesn't disrupt the session. Okay, so Victoria, do you understand what I'm saying? Is it clear?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah, so you see why I think that PR is more, it's more affordable if you go through the process, if you qualify anyway. Go on. If you have
Okay, yeah. My other question was about qualifying also. Is it solely based on the score and you being able to provide the POF, or are there other things? And someone was you also mentioned provisional nomination. Someone was telling me about that. How do you get that? Like, how do you get such?
Okay, maybe when we will do this for our next session, but like to give a brief overview for provincial nomination, there was a first question that you asked. It's based on your points. I'll start with that. It's based on your points, and you need to have POF, and the points, however you get the points are a combination of your education, your work experience, your um if you have family here, they check all of those things and it contributes to your points, your language proficiency and all of that. Now, if you can improve your points, it will give you a higher chance of getting invited. It's actually more detailed than this, but I'm just trying to have a general sense and summarize it. Now, you need whatever you're putting in your profile to show that you qualify, you need to be able to back it up with documentation and evidence when you get invited by the government to apply for permanent residency. So when they say, oh, ITA, invitation to apply, when you get your ITA, you have to be able to prove whatever you've said. So that's why I tell people, don't lie when you're putting your profile. Just make sure that whatever, or another way of saying it is whatever you're putting in your profile, you have a way of proving that it's correct or it happened. If you don't have a way of proving it and the time comes and they ask you for documentation, that's how people get rejected. But PR actually has a higher approval rate compared to study, in my opinion. As long as you have documentation to prove, you would almost not have an issue. As long as your documentation is correct, you don't miss anything, and you are not lying, you most likely will not have an issue. Now, the POF is very important. You need to have your POF. If you don't have your POF at all and it's not complete, that's enough reason for refusal as well. Now, going to your question for provincial nomination. So provincial nomination program, right? Different provinces have different requirements and what they are looking for. They usually prefer to they do it according to what they need. So if a province, there was a time, for example, that some provinces we are looking, my particular province, I mean Calgary, Alberta. So my province, Alberta, was looking for admin assistants at the time. I don't know if they're still looking for it now, but I know that the demand has dropped. And so people that had admin assistant work experience, we are getting provincial nominations. So it's usually first and foremost based on the needs of the province. What kind of professionals are they looking for? It can even be trades, it's not only just white collar like, oh, accountant or admin assistant. No, it can even be like, plumbers or carpenters, electricians. Like, it can be anybody really. It's across board. So when people meet that criteria, you most likely will get invited. You most likely will get provincial nomination, which will lead you to getting invited by the federal government to apply for your PR. Okay, so that's one way. Another way is some provinces have created pathways for people that are bilingual. So for those that were not here earlier or that are not aware of this, I mentioned that Canada is a bilingual country. So we speak English and French here, not everybody, but in general, the country has some French speaking, their French speaking parts, their English speaking parts, even though English is majority, right? And because English is majority, they're trying to like balance it out. English is like, last I checked the stats, well, like 85% or so, even 87%. And they're trying to like level it up a little bit. And so they're giving advantage to those um, that are French speaking because they want to bring in people that are more French speaking people, right? So because of that, if you that's why you're hearing people say things like, oh, go and learn French, go and learn French. Because then you have advantage on the provincial level and at the federal level. Okay, you have it at the provincial level and um at the federal level. So those are the two quick answers I can give you. Oh, another one that is worth mentioning is the job search. So when people have, like, if you have a job application or you have, sorry, a job offer, rather, if you have a job offer, almost every province has a particular, if you have a job offer there, they can give you provincial nomination depending on the program you're going for. Okay, let me give two more bonus points on this. Another one is if you studied in a province, it's not all provinces, but there are provinces that have pathways for students that come to study in that province and they can give you provincial nomination. That's why I tell people that if you want to come and study in Canada, if your goal is to stay after you study, you should talk to an immigration consultant first before you talk to an educational consultant. You need to have your immigration plan And then you can now talk to an educational consultant based on that. At least you're not talking to education. First of all, we actually also help with, education consulting and helping you get admission. But even if you want to use someone else, if you talk to an immigration consultant, you're okay. The immigration consultant will look at your profile. They will say, okay, based on your profile, okay, we can because of your age range, your experience, or so on. So, okay, you know what? I will advise you go to this particular province if you want to get your PR. Now, if you go to an education consultant first, the chances are they will advise you based on, okay, you can get this very good job in this very good province. But the truth is, if you don't um have your immigration status sorted out, you won't be able to work in the long run. It's better for you to be able to say, okay, I have a plan to get my PR. If a company now helps you and sponsors you, great. But that is not, it should not be your first option because that is out of your control. Is something that's coming to my mind now is I'm an Igbo girl, obviously. For those that are Nigerian, which I think most of us are here. So there's this saying in my language that "Iya zụta good and I zụta good." So if you're able here, you understand if you speak Igbo. But it means that you need to first of all buy your plot of land before you can now start trying to find the mat you put on it to lie down. And immigration is that plot of land first. You need to at least have your feet in the soil. Like, okay, I have my status here. Then you can now go and be able to get, before you buy mat, you have job to have money to buy mat now. But if you don't have the land, where will you keep your mat? That's the point I'm trying to make there. Okay, so job offer, I've mentioned all of those. The last one I'm going to add is as a student, I say 2 bonus points, so I'll add these 2 bonus points. If you're a student, if you come in, that can help you if you get it because when you come as a student, you can qualify for work permit if you make the right decision in the program, by the way. So, that's another way of getting work permit as well. And then you can transition to PR, with the right guidance. If you're not careful, you can fall into the cracks of each of the transitions. Some people are not able to transition very well from study to work permit. Some people get stuck there. Some people are not able to transition properly from work permit to PR. Some people get stuck there. Okay, so the right guidance is important. Now, the last point I'm going to mention is business, being an entrepreneur. If you're a business owner or you know someone that's a business owner, they can also get provincial nomination, through there are different provinces that have pathways specifically for entrepreneurs. All right, so I hope that answers your question. I think for you to have asked that question, I'm sure there are other people that are also they're also looking for that probably wanted to ask the same thing. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm sorry for taking a lot of time.
No, it's okay. When people ask questions, I think
Okay,
it benefits other people too, so that's fine.
okay.
Um,
I'm sorry. Okay.
okay.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to ask when you're saying business, like business in what capacity or definition? Like, is there like when you say business, is there something they are looking into? Like, is it the revenue? Like, how big the business is name?
So that's like a very broad topic, but I'll try to answer it as in a general, like I can't go into details in this call. It's going to take a lot of
Okay.
time. But this I'll have to reiterate what I said in the beginning in case you are not here. And for those that were not here, for those that are here, just know I'm just saying the same thing again. Now, if people are coming to Canada with the business, it's a bit more pricey, to be honest. But there are two pathways. One is you're either buying a business, an existing business, and through that you're getting like a work permit, LMIA, or you're starting a whole new business altogether. So we assist with either of both, like both of them. Um, the LMIA one through business, it's about buying a business here, but it's more expensive because buying a business here, you're looking at hundreds of dollars, sometimes over 1 million Canadian. So, but there are people that is what they would prefer. Why? Because it's like using one stone to kill two birds. So they get a business, especially for the one that is the existing business that's already having cash flow, that's really profitable, and they're just coming in. Like if they customers might not even know there's been change in ownership. That's how they usually do it. So it might be an established print shop or an established restaurant, and someone just buys it. They change ownership, but nothing changes. The name of the business doesn't change. Everything is just there and it's just running. And then through that, they get a work permit and they get their PR. So that's another option that most people, people are going for right now. Okay, I'm going to go to someone else now, Victoria, because I think I've covered your questions.
Yes, sorry, just one last question. Like, if I'm to work with you, like how much is required for you to like help with this process for permanent resident, or can I get the information later or something?
Yeah, I would want to talk with you. So it depends on we have a standard price on our website, and maybe they can put it there. And if you go to our website, you see like our different prices. So it's not like we are transparent with that. But I like having a one-on-one with clients first, so that you don't pay for what you don't need, or you don't underpay for what you don't pay enough for what you actually need. So that's why we said that we have free sessions for all the community members that join today. You can sit down with me one-on-one. Now, if you want to have a longer conversation, like an hour or so, you can book a consultation and pay for it. But you can at least have a quick session with me to decide. Most times when people talk to me, like in that free session, they literally like make their decision and know the one that it will be clear to them what they want, and they go straight ahead and pay, and they don't even have to pay for a consultation because especially with you now, for example, you, Victoria, I've had an extensive conversation with you. So if I'm talking with you again, you already have an advantage because we already had talked here. So there won't be so much for me to dissect for. But I need to be able to sit down with you and literally go into a bit more detail. There's some detailed questions I can ask you on this call because of the professional standards I'm supposed to adhere to based on my license and all of that. I'm not supposed to ask you some certain personal questions in front of others to give you your privacy and to maintain confidentiality on my own end. But if I sit down with you and I ask you those questions, it will be easier. It doesn't cost you anything. So just indicate in the chat, and one of my team members will give you a link to join, a unique link that you can join. You cannot send it to someone else. It will expire once you book the session. Okay, Masun, let me hear you.
Hi, Choma. And I
Hi.
say I'm there and Kisha saying good afternoon, everybody.
Sure.
Okay, so we are progressing to the next stage. For me and my
Mm-hmm.
family, we are here in Canada. So for everyone, has always been indulging me. So I'm a living testimony. So every time I say it, I don't know, I keep sending people to you. I hope you see them or they have been able to convert stuff. Anyways,
Okay.
I just wanted to ask things that is not clear to me regarding this new policy that came into effect January 21st. The
Yeah.
parts where they said for primary applicants, you have to
Mm-hmm.
be under tier 0 and 1,
Okay.
or the 2 and 3. Tier 4 no longer exists. I know I feel into 1. However, what I'm not clear about is that do I need to have a job already before I now apply for my postgraduate work permit?
No. When I
Okay.
graduating.
I'm graduating this April, and
Hmm.
I think I also sent an email
Also,
last.
please, 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 please.
I sent a mail to you. You
Yes, I
responded that I
know. We
booked
sent
the
you the link.
sessions.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
I
We
have
have to
for
be fast.
Tuesday. You know
Okay,
that
good.
I'm an early bird. I don't take chances.
Yes.
So I'm
We don't have
already
time.
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm already swinging into action. So I already
good.
sent an email. I think my
Okay.
session will be on Tuesday with you. If you have, I saw
Yeah.
you yesterday and I booked it.
Okay, when
So
when 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 we talk, then I'll go into more
yes,
detail with you. But you're doing the right thing right now. Like we should be submitting your work permit application before the end of February. Like you shouldn't pass February. You don't need a
okay,
job to apply for your work permit.
okay,
Mm-mm. You just need
all
to
right.
send it in. Because I've seen people a lot of people. I'm glad you reached out earlier. But a lot of people come to us. Um, when they are already like stuck, they didn't, their work study permit has run out, and it's not something you apply for work permit before your study permit expires. So that's a good one that you're already coming to us right now. And
Okay,
it doesn't affect, like, when you get the job. Okay, so two things before you go ahead, I don't want to forget this.
uh-huh.
Number one is we need to apply for the work permit ASAP. Number two is you
Mhm.
need to start looking for a job ASAP, full-time job. You don't have to wait till you graduate to start looking for that full-time job because it takes a while for it to like click. So
Yeah, so
if
so
that
yeah.
yeah, if you start applying in February for full-time with your full chest, your full chest, and they start the process, some of them will wait for you. And you say, oh, I can
Mm.
resume in, I don't know when you're finishing in April.
April 20th.
Okay. So the
Excuse me.
chances are, um, let me quickly check processing time for work permits. You
I
know,
think it's
my
3 months. It's always
yeah,
about 3 months
but yeah,
technically. So it
they
fits in into the
update
period.
yeah, they update it weekly. So I wanted to see what's the, but if you say 3 months, then yeah, great. It's 3 months that I know, but I wanted to see whether it's changed because every week they change the processing times of all application. But anyway, let's use 3 months, and that's why I was saying we cannot pass this February. In fact, if you had even let me, I would have submitted that thing this month. Why? If
Uh,
it takes three
okay.
months, it will be coming out in April, so that
Mm.
if you get a job, somebody won't be telling you, oh, you can't start because you don't have your work permit.
Until I my permit. Okay.
Do you
Okay, but
understand?
I just wanted to give further context.
Okay.
My visa and study permit actually expires in July. I
Oh,
finish school in April, so there's still time. So until I finish school and I get my transcript before I'll be able to apply in April. So I still have a 3 months buffer afterwards too.
no, you don't have to. It's not okay. Let me put it this way. So we have two deadlines. Your study visa applies in, sorry, expires in June, Abi, and then your
July.
in July, and then
I
your
finish
program
school in
ends in
April.
April. I would use the
Yes.
April deadline, not the July one.
Of course, yes. I'm not waiting till that time. I
Okay.
finish school, I get all my transcripts, and I want to apply almost like a week before. I'm
Okay.
already rewriting, I'm making plans to rewrite my IETLS, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is now part of the major requirements and
Okay.
every other thing that will be necessary. But the reason why I needed to book this session is also for further clarity and some things. So you cannot leave chances to, like, I know everything, I've read everything in the fine print. We need consultants to handle those all the time. So I
Yeah.
think Tuesday I will be with you. Thank you. Thank you for all you do
You're
for
on
the
the right
community.
track. I'm proud of you. Look at us.
Thank
Very soon
you.
I'll be doing what's it called? Graduation. We'll make
Yes,
noise with your picture. Please allow us to make noise with your picture. I
no
can't wait.
problem. When is that time? I know
Congratulations
how
in
are you?
advance.
I'm greeting you. I know left me since, but I can see she's on the call. I'm
And then you
saying
should be checking
hi.
on your clients.
She does shower once in a while, but not occasionally. But shower. I greet you. Bye.
All right, bye. Okay, anyone else have any question? Any other question? Any other person have any question? Please, I hope you've been indicating on the chat that you would want to. We are going to share. I mean, if you didn't directly register for this and we don't have your email address, you can drop it in the chat, so that after this Zoom session, if someone sent you the link to join, that's okay. Just send us your email address so we can send it to you. In case you miss the link if you send it. Because what I don't want is, you not having a way to reach us. But I mean, worst case, you can send us a message on Instagram at Kisha Immigration and just mention that you are in the session and you want to have, you want to get your link to book the free session with me. Okay, please share the link. Look in the chat, guys, and just share the link with anyone that's indicating interest. If we don't have any other questions for today, then I can save you guys 10, 11 minutes so you can enjoy your weekend. Thank you for making our time to join the session today. I can't wait to meet with you guys one-on-one. For those I haven't talked to yet, I can't wait to, meet with you guys one-on-one. It's good to have our past clients join every now and then. In fact, I won't even say past clients, yeah, because the thing is, my goal is to be there with you till you hold down your passports. That's the goal. So whether you get study or PR, we are open to help you with it all the way to your citizenship application so that you can just go and sleep and rest and know that okay, oh, I don't have anything to worry about because we got you. So someone like Mosuna, we helped her with the study permit, and then our family is here with her now, and then she's coming back to us now for the work permits, right? And I'm hoping to help her with not just work permits, because if I'm talking to her next week Tuesday, I won't just be talking work permit. My goal is always PR minimum. First goal is usually PR, but the ultimate goal is citizenship for
Yes, the
everyone.
simulation is very important now. That's the progress, the way to go. And for everyone on this call, work with Kisha. Oh. Me, I'm a living testimony. Anywhere I am, I always shout,
So
Kisha, go to
I don't
her.
know what I'm going to do.
Hey, I always tell them if they need the peace of mind and they have money and they need someone to help them touchlight me to do these things. Immigration now is becoming very difficult. And so you don't want to now, and also we all know the exchange rate in Nigeria is really gone so bad. And if you have such money, you should like put your money where you know you get value. With Kisha, I promise you, you will. I am a living testimony. If you know what you want, all the best, everybody.
Thank you. The way you're saying it now, in fact, we have to start paying you. I thank you so much because honestly, like, thank you, thank you. It's one thing to say it yourself; it's another thing to have someone that you've really walked through the process say it without you even asking them to. So I really appreciate you, Mason. Thank you very much. Okay, so there are no questions like we've already said, I'm going to have to leave you guys at this time. I look forward to having a chat with you guys next week. Please join our community so you can, if someone sent you this link, drop your email address. Let us know how the session was for you. That would be very, very helpful. Just let us know how the session was for you in the comment section as well. And I look forward to meeting you in our one-on-one if you book it. Okay? All right. I'll leave the session for like 1 or 2 minutes so that, if you want to drop your email address, you can drop it, and you can please click on the link if it's sent to you, because it's going to be a unique link for just you, for coming to the call. We appreciate you being here. Talk to you soon. I'm hoping to congratulate all of you. That's why I'm playing this song for any step you're going to next. Okay? All right. And your time over. You see your marriage. Thank you, everyone. Bye.